how much do you need to spend to start experiencing the joy of photography with a full-size camera? Well, not as much as you might think. Hello, I'm Phil Riley, and I recently shot a video for the channel where I spoke to a retired photographer about his career, and I couldn't believe it when he showed me the camera he started with all those years ago. I mean, wow! How did anybody ever get a photograph? You had to wind up a cloth shutter, guess the distance, guess the exposure, and after that, you just had one frame. I'll put a link to that here, along with in the description. So that got me thinking. Mobile phones are fantastic, and the pictures you get are getting better and better all the time. But there's nothing really quite like having a decent camera in your hands to focus the mind, help you concentrate on the image. So I wonder how hard it is to use a vintage camera. How do they feel in the hands? Is it going to inspire confidence? How will it perform? And more importantly, how much does it cost? So there was only one thing for it, straight to eBay. Now it's fair to say that I was spoilt for choice. Loads of it. Box brownies, pocket cameras big as a brick. There were pull-out lenses, there were bellows. A lot of these took unusual film sizes too, and I wanted a 35mm comparison. So I focused my target on what I thought would be the best value, the 1950s, the heyday. So it wasn't long before I saw a name that I recognised instantly, Voigtlander. I mean, this was a quality brand. I saw Leica M series cameras for sale with Voigtlander lenses on. They got to be worth a few quid. What? That can't be right. According to eBay, they're selling for like 20 quid. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's got to be worth a go. So a quick click of the mouse and here it is. So let's take a look at what I got for my 20 quid. Well, I got a Voigtlander Vito B. As you pick it up, it's clear. It's a seriously well-made camera. Full metal body. Feels like a hammer's going to bounce off it actually. I reckon you could drop this onto a car park from a hot air balloon in the morning and still be taking quality pictures in the afternoon. Granted, it's not the lightest bit of kit. It's certainly a chunky monkey that you wouldn't want around your neck for the final ascent of Everest. But there is a certain assuringly solid feel about a weighty camera. When it's sitting on a tripod in Storm Dorothy, it isn't going anywhere. Now the lens. It's a fixed 50mm 3.5 colour Skopar lens, and you know what they say about the 3.5 colour Skopar lens? No, neither do I. Never heard of it. Colour Skopar, how can you have a colour lens? Doesn't make any sense at all. But it is a Voigtlander. We've got shutter speeds ranging from bulb and 60 seconds right through to the heady heights of super fast 300th of a second. 300th? When did that come in? Is it some kind of old money system? I thought it was 250th. Anyway, f-stops are f22 to 3.5 wide open, and focusing is from 3 feet to infinity. Now, here's the weird bit. This looks and feels like a quality rangefinder, doesn't it? And that's what it is, in fact, because here is the rangefinder. It's an optional extra. For me, it was included with the camera sale for my 20 quid. But unlike a Leica, which incidentally would have cost me about £1,000, this beauty has an independent rangefinder. It's an attachment. You slide it into the cold shoe. Like that. Have a look through the viewfinder on the rangefinder itself and you align the two images with this dial. That will give you a distance and you transfer it onto the lens. Simple, if not a bit long-winded. I mean, I don't think you're going to be making it as a sports photographer focusing with one of these. And the added benefit over a Leica is that you can take out the rangefinder, stick it in your pocket and use it on the golf course. See how far away the flag is. Save yourself a few hundred quid on a laser rangefinder. Hey! 4. So, what am I expecting? Well, this camera's over 50 years old, so I guess the images won't be as good as a modern camera. But how close will they be? I'm going to be limited with functions such as a top shutter speed of 300th of a second. So how much is that going to hold me back? And the weight's going to be interesting. Will I like the assured solid feel, or will it just be too heavy? The biggest difficulty though is going to be not seeing the focusing through the lens. It's going to be a slow process setting focus, and will I like not being able to see if I'm actually in focus? Obviously, it's a vintage film camera, so I bought a roll of HB5. I'm heading out now and I should have some images to show you pretty soon. I'm going to take a modern digital with me, a Nikon DSLR and a Fuji X10 compact, to see how the images compare side by side. This is part 1 of a 2-video series, and in part 2 I'll have the images back and I'll post them along with my thoughts on whether this is 20 quid well spent. So to make sure you don't miss the results video, hit the subscribe button now, and the bell icon will make sure you get notified as soon as I post that video. Right, let's get all the kit together and let's get out and take some vintage pictures.